As the man was about to finish work, the dog Saturday in the best spot in the flower, eagerly anticipating his return. When the man finished work and saw the dog greeting him, he was overjoyed. Despite not having cooked for decades, today he decided to prepare a meal for the dog. Unfortunately, the meatballs he made were all, and he insisted on tasting them himself. Both he and the dog ended up rushing to the bathroom. Meanwhile, his son's career was starting to flourish, preparing to move to Beijing. The man didn't oppose his son's choice. Late at night, he took the dog out, ostensibly for a walk, but mainly to buy braised dishes for his son. On a rainy day, he bought all the braised dishes from the street stalls, prompting his worried wife to come with an umbrella to fetch him. Back home, he quickly dried off the dog, gave him cold medicine, and ended up oversleeping the next day, missing the chance to see off his son. Hurrying to the station with the dog, his heart condition and age caught up with him, forcing him to stop halfway. He sent the dog to convey his fatherly concern instead. After his son left home, life became increasingly mundane. The dog became a companion to both elderly parents, bringing newspapers home every day, a routine signaling it was time to cook. Every evening, the dog faithfully waited by the flower outside the cable car station. Upon seeing the man, the dog would rush into his arms, barking happily and rubbing against him. Sometimes, the dog would yearn for a snack, particularly a bowl of cold shrimp. After enjoying the shrimp, they would walk home together in the sunset, the man's happiest moments. In another summer, the man went on a business trip for a few days, leaving the dog at home. However, the dog followed him to the cable car station, but arrived just as the car departed. Tragically, the man suffered a heart attack during his trip and passed away without medical assistance. His wife, eating noodles, was overwhelmed with tears and trembling hands as she thought of him. The dog, noticing the man didn't return, waited at the cable car station again. This time, it waited until the station closed, but didn't see the familiar figure. It was then that the daughter realized the dog hadn't come home. Despite wind and rain, it continued to wait, silently longing for its owner. When the newspaper vendor saw this, he even held up an umbrella for it. The man's house was soon to be demolished, so his son rented a new house for his mother. However, the landlord didn't allow pets, so the dog had to be sent to the daughter's house. Even though it was far from the cable car station, it remembered both the cable car and the way home. Everything by the shore had changed, and everything from the past was gone. The dog returned to the cable car station once more and was led away again. To prevent the dog from running away again, it was locked up in the house. The dog became angry and tore up the rope, then returned to the cable car station and began a 10-year wait. Every night, the newspaper vendor still gave it a newspaper. The obedient dog picked up the newspaper and took it to the abandoned house. Every day, it slept in the ruins, searching for the man sent by the river, and waiting quietly in the flower outside the cable car station. Gradually, it became a stray dog, dirty and unkempt. Knowing the man was no longer there and would never return, it still cherished their past in its own way. It waited faithfully for 10 years. During those 10 years, it continued to hope for its owner. Now aged, it passed away with its longing still fresh. In its dreams, it finally reunited with its owner, riding the cable car to heaven, gradually disappearing into the distance.